everybody doing? All right, I love that. We're back again for the second week at Ricky Ricardo's at 423 College Street on the corner of Bathurst, and we're just loving the vibe. Are you liking it here? Beautiful, beautiful place. We have an amazing show lined up for you tonight, so you don't want to go anywhere. We have Alicia Vienga, who is the owner of Premier Jour Lingerie and Swimwear. We have a segment coming up with some very sexy models and some gorgeous pieces. And Alicia is also the founder of After Breast Cancer and Bras for Congress. So we're going to have a chat with her. So give her a round of applause for coming through. We have a psychotherapist and author of Find Yourself Culture, the lovely Victoria Lorient Fabish is here. And British-born wedding event planner guru and the host of Wedding SOS, Jane Diaz-Hinch is here. And then we have an incredible performance by dance hall artist Sirius here on the Nikki Clarke Show. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Jane Diaz-Hinch. Welcome back. We have wedding event planner extraordinaire, British-born Jane Diaz-Hinch is here.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming to the Nikki Clarke Show. I'm so honored to have you here.
Lovely to be here, Nikki.
I'm a big fan of Wedding SOS.
Really?
Yeah. You were a fairy godmother that granted 3 wishes to people, saving them from wedding disaster. What was that like?
Chaotic. It was.
It looked chaotic
it was a
in some of the
challenge.
episodes.
It was a huge challenge because when I met the people, I didn't know anything about them. I literally walked up to them and said, "I'm Jane Diaz-Hinch, Wedding SOS. I've got your call. What is the problem?" And then the couples would tell me what they thought was the problem with their wedding, and then I would go into my investigation as to what I thought the problem was. 4 hours later, they would have a board, and then they would really have to look at it and go, okay, what 3 things do we want Jane to do?
Right.
So in a half-an-hour show, it took 50 to 70 hours of filming.
Wow.
And you saw the highlights. And yes, fairy godmother, I needed more than a magic wand at times.
You needed a medal.
I needed a drink.
What was the most bizarre wedding you've done?
The most bizarre, oh my goodness me. I think back in England, I did one once for a couple who got married in a castle. He wore a suit of armour. He wore a suit of armour. She was the princess. And let's just say he couldn't go to the bathroom. And that was a bit odd because even all the guests were dressed in medieval costume too.
That must have been an awkward wedding.
It was a very odd wedding, bizarre.
I can't imagine the dancing after. Like, how did that work out?
He had to take the suit off.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. 30 years as a wedding and event planner.
I am that old.
Oh.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, 30 years. I've just actually received a Lifetime Achievement Award. I was actually hosting the Wedding Industry Awards, and I was presenting all the awards out to everyone and thanked everybody and sat down, and then I could see one award left on the stage, and I was going into panic attack going, oh my goodness, I've missed someone. And then the presenters sort of came up and said, we'd like to invite Jane back onto the stage. And I thought, oh, be professional, let's see who we forgot. And I got up there and they said, we'd like to give you a Lifetime Achievement Award.
Congratulations.
30 years in the wedding industry, so
well
thank
deserved,
you.
yeah,
Thank
absolutely, absolutely. Why did you start in weddings? When did you know that that was what you needed to do, that was your passion?
Truthfully,
yes.
It's a wonderful story. I was 4 years old.
4 years old?
4 years old, and my mother was the secretary to Sir Alfred Owen, and Princess Margaret was coming to Rubery Owens, and I had to present a bouquet of flowers to Princess Margaret. And as a little girl, you can imagine in November, the lady came through and everybody's going, give the flowers to the princess. And I'm going, where's the princess? And I'm looking, and my mother is going, Jane, give the flowers to the princess. And I'm like, where's the princess? And there in front of me was a woman standing there in a hat and coat. And my mother suddenly got it and she went, give the flowers to the lady. Yeah. So there I did. And she could see how disappointed I was. So literally she took me to a church. Following Saturday, ding dong, the bells rang. And of course the bride came out and she went, there's your princess. And that was it. I was captivated from there on in. I drew, I got everything, I got magazines. That was it. Weddings were for me.
That was your aha moment.
That was my moment.
Fantastic. And you've worked with the royal couple.
Yes, I was the anchor for Global TV. And
what was that like?
I was at Buckingham Palace and I was there. And to have 4 monitors in front of you and 1 earpiece live and 1 earpiece obviously from a studio, and they're telling you things and then they're asking you questions and you're looking at 4 monitors. It was a bit like, you know,
juggling.
And they were saying, and who's this and who's this? And of course, I have a good knowledge of the royals and I absolutely loved every minute.
That's fantastic. What an honor.
It was. It was.
Huge. And you have something coming up this week in Toronto.
I do. I've flown in to do the National Bridal Show at the Direct Energy Centre. It's a 3-day show where I have a lineup of brides that wait for about an hour that want to talk to me and tell me all their wedding problems.
Now, you've done over 1,500 weddings in your career.
I stopped counting about 10 years ago when I did my 1,000th wedding. I mean, you know, how many have I got to do? But I've got 42 weddings this year. So
wow.
This is the start of the year.
Do you ever say no to wedding requests?
Yes, if I'm honest. There are times when I sit with a bride and I hear the vision and I'm booked. Because there are times when I think, well, I know what works and I know what doesn't work. And when I'm doing a Greek wedding for 1,800 people.
Wow, 1,800 people.
Yeah, yeah.
Amazing, okay.
But if I've got a wedding and it's, you know, 20 to 30 people, very personalised, I'm an officiant in Canada, so I can marry them, I can do it all and make it the best day of their lives. I love it.
Well, I'm still waiting for my Prince Charming, so maybe we could talk about a wedding for me.
Okay.
If it ever happens.
Okay,
All
no
right?
problem.
All right. I also wanted to mention Brenda Holsworth, who was a former guest a couple of months ago, and she's wonderful, and she is the founder of Wedding Saviors. Now, you're involved with that as well.
I am. I've been with Wedding Saviors now 4 years.
4 years.
It's when it started and how it's evolved for these couples who cannot afford to get married. How wonderful that the wedding industry, the professionals say, I will give my services to this couple and for free, as long as the couple pay it forward.
And how do you pay it forward?
How to pay it forward. So the way it works is they have a tsunami of couples who want to be chosen. And through a panel process, it comes down to 3.
Okay.
And then they have to do a number of tasks and they have to put a lot of food into a food bank. And this year, the 3 couples put over a ton of food each into the food bank. And also, they have to do blogging and all sorts of different things and give into the community. So they do that. And then they have to go through another process. And by that time, it's almost like the vendors choose which couple they want to give the wedding for. Okay. And this last couple, he was a double lung transplant. Wow. He'd lost his business and had lots of problems and wanted to marry the woman of his dreams. And we came in and helped, and it was fantastic. And so to be the wedding planner with over 70 wedding professionals, putting this fabulous day together.
Truly a fairy tale wedding.
It is. It's giving back to the industry, which is what I love to do.
That's wonderful. Now, how can people find you?
Find me? Gosh, I'm either in Vancouver, where they will find me out at Langley, which is Image in White. Okay. I'm at a base there. If they're in the UK, they'll find me at Melville Castle. It's a
true... You live in a castle?
Yes, it's Melville Castle. It's a fairy tale castle in Edinburgh, and I do a lot of weddings there. Or in Toronto, just go on my website, put my name, Jane Day-Cinch, and there is an inquiry form there, and they'll find me there.
Jane, it's been such a pleasure meeting you.
Well, it's wonderful, wonderful. You've got a fantastic show here, great crowd of people, and some fantastic guests. It's great.
Thank you. Jane, amazing. Thank you so much. Come by anytime.
Thank you.
We'll be right back with Victoria, Lori, and Fabish. Don't go anywhere. Awesome. We are back with the author of Find Yourself Culture, the lovely Victoria, Lori, and Fabish. Thank you so much for coming through.
Happy to be here.
Oh, it's a pleasure having you. Now, you have a connection with me. We are both from Montreal.
Yay, Montreal.
Born in Montreal. Where did you grow up in Montreal?
TMR.
TMR, are you kidding?
Yeah.
I went to school in TMR.
Did you really?
That is town of Mont-Royal.
Town of Mont-Royal, yes,
people
exactly.
who don't know parts of Montreal. So that is really good. And
Brief
how long
time.
Brief
there.
time?
Yeah. And then, about 10, 11 years old, moved to Portugal for 3 years, and then Brazil for 6 years, and then came to Toronto, did a lot of my education here, and then Mexico, so a little bit internationally.
International,
Yeah.
and this is your home now.
This is my home, my
How long
beloved
you been in
home.
Toronto?
Oh my gosh, since I would say Mexico in there for 3 years,
Okay.
80 something.
87.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
And this is where you've set up your practice as a
Yeah.
psychotherapist.
Absolutely, for the past 20 plus years.
20 plus years. Now, what brought you to that journey to become a psychotherapist?
It's interesting because the work that I do is very much, it's holistic psychotherapy, which is sort of my brand of working with people. I lived in Mexico, as I said, and I sort of was exposed to the Mayan Indians, and living there for 3 years was very interesting. That when I came back to Toronto, my father passed away in '89, and it sort of set me on a journey to sort of understand, life and what's it all about, and what are we doing here? And so I'm definitely a spiritual person, and so the mind-body-spirit connection is very much something that I work with in my practice.
And that's what holistic is. It's a mind, body, spirit.
Yes. We're not just thinking heads. We're not just bodies. We are minds. We are bodies. We are souls. We are everything.
Interacting.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And each one is talking with the other.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. And if one stops talking, something falls apart.
Well, I think that life and our body and our soul and our being is constantly having a dialogue with us, and it behooves us to listen to what the signs and symptoms are. And if we don't listen, what happens is the messaging gets louder and louder and louder until we actually pay attention and go, okay, what is life trying to tell me here? What is it that life is trying to actually say to me?
To make a change.
Exactly, to make a change, or to listen to your inner voice. And Finding Your Self Culture, which is the book that I wrote, and the work that I do in the office is very much about really having your own voice being the loudest in your head. And so many people have other people's voices, your family culture and your
Blueprints from society,
blueprints from society, which you came up from your family of origin.
Right.
So it's really important to develop a really strong relationship with your inner self, with your true, profound, authentic inner voice.
Okay. Now, you say that depression and anxiety are at an all-time high now. Why is that?
It's an interesting question, because I think that it could be a couple of things. It could be always been depression and anxiety could be always part of our society, but I think now there is a tremendous, from what I hear in my practice, a tremendous amount of disconnection from self. Life seems to be hard for people in many ways. Life seems to be a challenge. People have many choices as opposed to few choices. People find it difficult to have the limitless possibilities versus one or two choices. That's one thing. Also, there's a genetic component to depression and anxiety. There's a lot of environmental factors. People have a lot of allergies. People have a lot of difficult experiences with their environment, so that they feel that there's not an abundance of calm. There's not an abundance of ease. There's not an abundance of people really being able to quiet themselves easily, given that there's just so many different sources
So much
of
stimuli.
Stimulus, exactly. Exactly.
It's
powerful.
It is powerful, and it can be overwhelming for a very
Absolutely.
sensitive person. In your book, Find Yourself Culture, you talk about dealing with the inner bully. What is the inner bully?
So I'm going to talk about that tomorrow at my lecture.
Which I'm going to attend.
Excellent. It's going to be fun. So people are constantly saying to themselves, societally we say, do more, be more, go, 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 accomplish more, you are not enough just the way you are, their definitions of success are externally based, are monetarily based, and we have this militaristic way of looking and saying,
get the bulb and get the baby,
go
get the
and
boat.
do it. Yes, exactly. Do it now, and don't listen to your own limitations, and don't pay attention to your own inner yearnings, inner voice. So that particular way of dealing with oneself, one thinks is going to be effective to create change and to create success. Unfortunately, it doesn't last. It will have a short-term burst of success, but then the inner child in us, which we all have, the inner child in us will say, I'm scared, I'm afraid, you're pushing me too hard, I'm uncomfortable. And that child will say no.
Shut down.
Totally, and will become rebellious, or victim-like, or depressive, and will sabotage the entire process. So anytime a person enters into a change in the way they look at, they want to change something in their being, they have to approach it, in my view, in the 80-20 type of concept, which is 80% of the time they're making changes, or 70% of the time they're making changes, and the 30 or 20% of the time they're still doing the old behavior, all the while knowing that there is an 80% still working on the behalf of the new positive change.
Okay.
But to do it sort of in a way, I'm 100% all or nothing. I'm going to quit this forever. I'm going to do.
It's not practical.
It rarely works.
Yeah.
It rarely works. And people need to be mindful that that's not a way to create effective change in their life.
Okay, so a slow, gradual process.
Slow and gradual is more permanent and also more gentle, and it will not bring on the hurt, deprived child to just sabotage it.
Okay, let's talk about the hurting child. What would you advise someone out there who is going through a period, whether it's short-term depression or something that they battle with throughout their life? How can they get help?
So there's a number of things going on usually with that. Sometimes it's biochemical. Sometimes it's circumstantial. Sometimes it's a combination. Sometimes it's addiction, right? It depends, right? It depends on what's going on. But I work a lot with people, and I tell people that as soon as you start to feel a sense of depressiveness coming on, it's really important to parent yourself.
Right.
So treat yourself as if you were the kind, gentle, loving, unconditional parent that you wish someone else would be.
Right.
In the absence of somebody else, do that for yourself.
Nurture yourself.
Nurture yourself. Be kind to yourself. Do things, literally sit sometimes quietly in a room and hug yourself and give yourself a type of positive word, positive, compassionate wording so that your system knows, I'm okay.
You're going to be okay.
I'm not alone.
Right.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Everything is okay.
How can people find you?
So I have a number of places people can find me. On Facebook, it's Find Your Self-Culture.
Right.
Also on my website, self-culture.com. Or my other website, visualizationworks.com.
Okay.
And on Twitter, @selfculturenow.
Thank you for giving me a copy of your book, Find Your Self-Culture.
Yes.
I can't wait to attend your seminar tomorrow, and thank you. It's been a pleasure. I'm learning a lot from you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right. Thank you so much, Victoria. We'll be right back with, you don't want to go anywhere for this hot swimsuit segment. We're going to meet Alicia Vienga. Come right back. Back with Alicia Vienga, who is the owner of Premier Jour lingerie and swimwear, and she's also the founder of After Breast Cancer. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Always a pleasure to be here with you, Nikki. Always a pleasure.
Thank you so much. So tell me about yourself. Tell me a little bit about your background as a businesswoman. I think you were recently nominated as a Small Businesswoman in September of last year.
Yes, I was very fortunate, and as a businesswoman, it is always wonderful when others recognize the work that you're doing, and it just compels you to continue working hard and serving and giving back. Yes.
Yeah. And you serve very well. You've been in the hospitality. You've done a lot of great charity work. After Breast Cancer is something that you founded. How long ago was that?
Yes, After Breast Cancer was founded just a little over a year ago, and it is a charity that provides resources for women who undergo a mastectomy or a lumpectomy after due to breast cancer. So I provide bras and breast prosthesis and camisole and resources for them at no cost. So those are the charity helps women who cannot afford it. So.
What
Yeah.
inspired you to do something like that?
Well, Nikki, as you know, on a daily basis, I work with women to help them feel beautiful by providing them bra fittings. So whether it's a bride or a regular woman who's going back to the workplace. And as a certified bra fitter, I work a lot with mastectomies and lumpectomy clients as well too. And seeing the women come into my boutique who cannot afford it, that suddenly broke my heart, because after going through such a ordeal, the last thing I wanted to turn away somebody who couldn't afford it, who couldn't get what they really needed because they couldn't afford it.
Of course. Now, you deal with all kinds of people who come to you, befuddled husbands who don't know what to buy for their women in their lives, and women who don't know if they're wearing the right size bra.
Yes. And that is a common thing, right? Most women, in spite of all the news, in spite of all the PR that is out there, there's still so many women who don't know what to look for. They still don't understand the importance of wearing a proper fitted bra. And so coming into Premier Jour, coming to see me, well, certainly change that. And also for the men, it is a really comfortable environment, so we help a lot of men to make that beautiful choices for their special someone.
Now, you fitted 1,000 women. Dundas Square. What was that like? 1,000 bra fittings. Okay. I mean, that's a lot of bras.
Yes, it's not. I didn't fit 1,000 women. It was an event that I participate in. It's called Women's Day in the Courtyard, and so there was over 1,000 women
in
there.
attendance. Okay.
Yes, over 1,000 women, and so it was really exciting to be able to teach these women the importance in such a mass, on a mass scale, or the importance of wearing proper bras.
So when a woman wears a bra properly, what happens to them internally?
Oh my goodness, it changes you, and you know that, Nikki. It changes your outlook on life, it changes your posture, it changes your self-esteem. You tend to walk taller, feel more beautiful, and just feel really sexy and beautiful.
Yes. Sexy is back at
Premier
Premier Jour.
Sexy is always at Premier Jour.
Speaking of sexy,
yes.
I think we have some lovely models here who are going to show us some of the pieces that you have at your store on St. Clair West.
Yes.
I was there the other day, and you've got some gorgeous pieces. I can't wait to sport when I head to a holiday destination very soon.
Yes, even though it's winter outside, but in here, we heat it up
at Ricky Ricardo's, definitely.
Yes, so we'll do a couple of swimwear pieces. So we'll talk a little bit about of trends and what's going on in different pieces that someone could actually entertain on their next traveling endeavor.
Okay, are we ready to heat it up here? Definitely. I see the gentleman running to the front. Okay. Yes, you don't want to miss this. All right, let's take a look at the lovely models.
Okay, so we have our first model tonight, and that is Alana. And Alana is sporting the latest black and white swimwear from Premier Jour, and it is a convertible, so this is ideal for people who like to tan, and because the straps comes off, and it is wonderful for pretty much any size. When you're looking at a swimwear like that, or a convertible swimwear, the V at the front added a little bit more support, so it's perfect for someone with a little bit heavier bust. And then now we're going to have, thank you very much.
I love that. Thank you, Alana.
And so now we have Vanessa, who is going to come out with next piece. So Vanessa.
We gotta kill this switch. You're from the 70s, but I'm a 90s bitch. I love it.
And ladies, this is what you call total deep plunge. High waist, it's perfect for someone who need to accentuate their chest. And it's a halter, so it works really well. And the belt just add a little bit more detail, a little bit more slimming to the body. So thank you very much.
That is a deep plunge.
Very deep plunge, perfect. And now we have Sonia, who is now sporting her two-piece bandeau top bikini. Again, doing black and white is fun, but doing it with a little bit of color and a little bit of spunk, yes, and then a little bit of detail. We have some pinks in there and purple. It is really ideal. Again, this bandeau swimwear is ideal for all the ladies who want to get a little bit of extra tan. So you remove the strap so there is no sun lines.
No, you won't
Perfect.
be getting any sunlight
No.
there. Thank you.
Perfect. So we're going to have Alana going to come out again. And yay! Okay. And so Alana is wearing here a wonderful two-piece bikini, and it's a what is called a triangle top. And a triangle top is really wonderful for someone, again, who has a little bit of a bust and you want to showcase, but not too heavy. So, ladies, sport yourself.
Beautiful. Thank you, Alana. And who's next?
Okay, so we have Vanessa, who is coming out again. And
Vanessa.
yeah. Coming down here. And you look really gorgeous in this two-piece. I really like the bottom of that two-piece triangle because it has the seams in the butt. So for lift ladies, if you want to accentuate a little bit, when you're looking for bottoms, look for something that has the seams in the back. It will suddenly lift up.
Wait, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. But what about women who have sort of shorter torsos or shorter legs? What can they wear to make their legs look longer?
If you're doing bikini, you want something with a little bit of a higher cut. A lot of times women tend to want to do the boy cut. They think that it could be appropriate. It's not necessarily.
Okay.
So Sonia is out. And so Sonia is wearing a typical.
That's a one piece.
Yes, so Sonia is wearing a one piece. And for the women who always want to wear black, now this adds a little bit of details. And the swimwear in itself is ideal for a woman who has a little bit of tummy and she wants to slim that down. So the lines on the swimwear in itself will actually
Trim the waist.
Trim the waistline, and the eyes is not really focusing so much on the tummy.
But the beautiful details.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you want to do that when you're looking at your basic.
Okay, gorgeous. Thank you.
Awesome.
Do we have more? Yeah. All right. We've got some more.
Okay, so Alana is going to come up with her next piece.
All right, Alana's
Yes.
back. Alana's back, and she's got a little bit of a cover.
Yes, and so for women who's going on cruises and at resorts, you definitely need to cover up. So Alana has the cover up, which is ideal. So don't forget to accessorize. So you have what Alana is doing is a very versatile wrap. So you could do short, and you could suddenly open it up. It's really long, and you could do different
ways you can wear it.
the wrap. So thank you so much, Alana.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Very versatile way of wearing the wrap. Okay, love that. Thank you.
Yes.
Who's next?
Okay, so Vanessa is going to come up again. Again, even though Vanessa is wearing a bandeau swimwear, the bottom is also versatile. So it could go a little bit higher up for the woman who wants something to cover the tummy. Perfect for moms who just want to cover a little bit of stretch marks, so that works really well. But again, we're looking at black, but black with a lot of details, a lot of pop, a lot of color. Thank you very much. And last but not least, we have Sonia, who is going to sport.
Oh, I think that's the crowd favorite right there.
So Sonia is sporting her monokini. For the women who want
a monokini.
Yes.
I like that.
So the women who want to wear a two-piece bikini, but it still needs to cover up the tummy, this is totally ideal for that. It's very slimming and it's very sexy, and a triangle again works really well. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Now, where can people find this again? We need your website and address.
Yes. So you could find me at pjlingerie.com, on Facebook at Premier Jour, PJ, and my phone number is 416-654-1868. So it's Premier Jour, lingerie and swimwear.
It's a pleasure having you, and you know what? Anything I can do to support the After Breast Cancer or the Bras for Congo, that's another thing that you do. You donate, you go around and you get collection of bra donations for women in the Congo.
Yes, so every year I collect thousands of bras and send them to the hospitals and rape victims in the Congo. So yes,
beautiful.
So anyone who want to donate, again, they could send in their gently used or new bras to Premier Jour, and we will deliver that to the Congo.
Thank you. Fantastic job.
Thank you so much, Nikki.
Right. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Give it up for Serious!
Yeah! Come on! I mean, so let's get familiar. Everyone looking so beautiful tonight and lovely. Come on, Hush, darling. Get dance. I say, wanna be your man, girl, it's up to you. Want switch the plan, girl, it's up to you. You want go look another man, girl, it's up to you. Everything is up to you, everything is up to you. Wanna be your man, girl, it's up to you. Want switch the plan, girl, it's up to you. You want go look another man, girl, it's up to you. Everything is up to you, everything is up to you. So hush, come on, let's get familiar. Yeah, I'm serious, huh? Remember when me used to take bus here, 10 twos over, me a rush here. People a fight and a cuss here. Them never got no vibes in them life, yeah. Them mama shop for you. Anywhere in the world, me take you go. Your mother find out the pressure, yo. Never let you back. I'm a want to see the best of you. In a bed, you never good, me never ever. Losing chest, I so hush. Come on, I'm serious. And then I say, let's get familiar. Let me hear you sing, hush, darling. Yeah. Charlie was missing. Have a little conversation, they start the flipping. Serious is a man or two, like the flipping. Expression on your face, see you're not listening. But where I'm from, girls won't be knowing. Teaching be showing, Jamaica when we growing. Roma will be knowing, champagne popping, beer chopping and stopping. Yo, tell me why your man flipping. Clock has been ticking, clothes have been ripping, I'm ripping. In the pool, girl be dipping, champagne we sipping, girl skinny dipping. I miss a hush. I miss a hush. Yeah. Fire the scam. I miss a hush. Cause after this, wanna be a man, girl, it's up to you. Want switch the plan, girl, it's up to you. You wanna go look another man, it's up to you. Everything is up to you. Everything is up to you. Wanna be a man, girl, it's up to you. Yeah.
Thank you so much for that beautiful performance. What was that called?
It's called Hush Darling.
Hush, darling.
Serious, feature Gregory Isaac.
Gregory
The
Isaac.
legend Gregory Isaac, yes.
That's Night Nurse, Gregory
No,
Isaac.
Hush Darling, Night Nurse Gregory Isaac, yes.
Wow, that's
Definitely.
huge. Now, how did you get in contact with Mr. Isaac?
Actually, it was a beat that I have with Gregory Isaac was on it, and I jumped on the beat, and soon as I hit the beat, we went to Rogers, and we did a show on Rogers, which was Rogers' talent show, and they loved it, and they kept playing it. Then next thing, Jamaica wants it, England wants it, Miami wants it, Canada wants
Went
it.
viral. I love that. Now, I want to especially thank you for being here because you are an inspiration to me because you are overcoming something really incredible, cancer. A lot of people don't know that. You're in remission for lung cancer.
Yes, I was diagnosed with cancer. Yeah, you know. But I've been living with it for like over a year and a couple months now, and I've been doing well, as you can see. Yeah,
Very
it's just
well.
a mind thing.
It is a mind thing.
It's a mind thing.
So someone who is, being diagnosed with it or is going through it, what would you tell them right now? What
Don't think
advice
too
would you
much
give?
about it. You know what I'm saying? Take this and make it be a push for you to anything that you want to become or want to do. Just take it to the next level, the next step you can, you know?
And I wanna say thank you for coming through and giving us those pearls of wisdom. And also everyone here who has a pen, Sirius brought it for you. So thank you very much. Sirius brought pens for everyone in the audience.
Yes, that pen is like about my show, which I put on a show. It's an annual thing, ear to ear. It's called Summer Ties, which is taking the place by storm right now.
Awesome.
So you can look out this year for Summer Ties.
Okay, and where can people find you? Where's your website?
You can go on Facebook, YouTube, SoundCloud, anything serious. Or you can say serious bad boy, but I'm a good boy, eh?
Yeah, man, you're a serious thing. Thank you.
Yes,
All
man.
right.
It was a pleasure meeting you.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right, we'll be right back with G Murda. Everyone, put your hands together for G Murda.
Check. This song's called Welcome to My World, featuring Sizzla Kalonji. Coming off the first album. Murder music. Can I get some volume on the music?
I'm from a world full of killers and crime. When shots start to burst, you better run for your life. Them putting out the crowd and God decide who for die. You're not safe in the day and they get worse by the night. I tell you, I'm from a world full of killers and crime. When shots start to burst, you better run for your life. Them putting out the crowd and God decide who for die. You're not safe in the day and they get worse by the night. Let go.
Just giving you a few previews of the mixtape, you know? Meditations of Machiavelli comes to you January 31st, 2014.
Crazy. Only the fittest of the fittest will survive round ya, so you better get flat when shot a fly round ya, so you better watch your head back cause you will die round ya, so them can't call the cops, them won't reply round ya, so only the fittest of the fittest survive round ya, so you better get flat when shot a fly round ya, so you better watch your head back cause you will die round ya, so them can't call the cops, them don't reply round ya, so straight from the gutter, yeah. I've seen it all. The more them see me rise, it's like the more them want me fall. I'm clean from me heart, jaw guide me through the dark. Not true, you see we humble them dogs. Yeah, we bark. Light up the marijuana and touch the microphone. That when you feel me soldiers, them will never make it home. Represent for all the convicts and the homeless on the road. My son needs some shoes, so me touching out the road. Lose sense and get tight up, get the youth and get wise up. We have too much ambition, that's why them not like us as a fool. So when them see the murder, murder, do not try size up. My lyrics them sharp, the beat them get sliced up. Me have no competition, me set my own pace. Me and the gangster us, but still me come to take my place. Be on your best behavior when you step on for my base. It ain't a pop waste, not even a vault, it no sale. Will survive round ya, so you better get flat when shots a fly round ya, so you better watch your head back, cause you would die round ya, so them can't call the cops and don't reply round ya, so only the fittest of the fittest will survive round ya, so you better get flat when shots a fly round ya, so you better watch your head back, cause they would die round ya, so them can't call the cops and don't reply round ya, so let go.
Most people that know G Murder know me for this song. Nina. If you had never heard G Murder.
Girl named Nina, she scream loud. Girl named Nina, and she control the crowd. But when it's the dogs up on the road, tell some folks that don't come out, it's dark shades and blue steel. Them know G Murder out with Nina. The girl that scream loud. The girl named Nina, and she control the crowd. But when it's the dogs up on the road, tell some folks that don't come out, it's dark shades and blue steel. Them know the murder out with Nina. Alright, boy skin get burned. And a bitch who can't tell them we don't play, cause I gunshot my crew serve and gunshot kick. Boy head flick 10. My drop on the curb. Crime scene, yellow tape with a face, crew face, them praise, and them go to church. We brief on the special feature. Them call me the MC creature. Then I rape me, then I rate them leader. Kill them in the range out team, I flow them sick. Set them on seizure, carry them slim. Like Khalifa, season the war. That's paprika. They don't want for me. The girl named Nina. The girl that scream loud. And she control the crowd. But when it's the dogs up on the road, tell some fools they don't come out to dark shades and blue steel. Them know the murder out with Nina. That girl that scream loud. The girl named Nina, and she control the crowd. But when it's the dogs up on the road, tell some fools they don't come out to dark shades and blue steel. Them know the murder out with Nina.
Yes, big up, sir. Big tune, big tune.
Enough respect, enough respect.
All right, so tell me about, you've got a mixtape coming up.
Yeah. Meditations of Machiavelli comes to you 31st of January 2014. Murder Music G Money Family promo.
Okay, beautiful. And where can people find you?
They can find me at YouTube, G Murder 45, Facebook, G Murder, Twitter, G Murder, and it's GMURDAH. One word.
And you know, your raspy voice kind of reminds me of Tupac. Are you inspired by him?
Very much.
Yeah? And who else?
Tupac, Vice Cartel,
Yeah.
Sizzla Kalonji,
Okay.
real veterans.
What would you tell someone who's coming up as a hip hop artist? What would you tell them to, you know, keep their head up in the game? What's your advice?
Don't stop for nothing.
Don't stop.
For nothing.
Okay. Well, you know what? I think you're unstoppable. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, this is the show. How did you like it? Tonight, big up Sirius, G Murder, Miss Lady Jane, Deus Hinch, Alicia Vienga, and Victoria, Lori, and Fabish. See you next week.